You walk out to the back pasture in the morning, and there it is, a mound the size of a dinner plate, fresh pushed up dirt the color of cinnamon, right in the middle of where the children walked yesterday. You take one step closer, and the whole top of the mound moves. Thousands of small red bodies boiling up out of the ground in seconds, climbing whatever they can climb, stinging anything warm. Fire ants, the most aggressive insect in this country, and the one pest that no folk remedy has truly mastered in 200 years of folks trying. And folks have tried everything. Coffee grounds, grits, dish soap, bleach, gasoline lit on fire, boiling water, cinnamon, cornmeal, baby powder, club soda, vinegar, cayenne pepper, cucumber peels. You name a household substance, and someone somewhere has poured it on a fire ant mound and sworn it worked. Half of them have made YouTube videos about it. The other half have written it in a comment under someone else's YouTube video. But which ones actually work? And which ones are wasting your time, your money, and your good kitchen pantry? Today I am going to walk you through the 5 wildest fire ant remedies folks have sworn by: coffee grounds, grits, dish soap, bleach, and gasoline and fire. And I'm going to tell you the honest truth about each one. Which ones do nothing? Which ones kill a few surface ants but leave the queen alive in her deep castle? And which one I will not put on this channel under any circumstance, no matter how many people swear by it, because the cost of a single mistake is too high. Then, because I do not want to leave you with only a list of failures, I will show you the real old method that the careful country folks have used to take down fire ant colonies for as long as boric acid has been on the shelf. The bait that the workers carry back to the queen, the same trophallaxis trick we used on the wasps, and the 2 free gentle methods that go with it. My name is Amish. I am Amish and I farm in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. We do not have the worst of the fire ant trouble up here. They live mostly in the warm South, but Esther and I have friends and family across many southern states, and I have heard every story, tried many of them, and watched what worked and what did not. Soap and water is real, but it is what we call a surface treatment. It buys you a day of relief. It does not solve the problem. If a single mound has just popped up by your back door and your child is about to walk across it, by all means, pour the soapy water and clear the immediate danger. But know what you have done. You cleared the workers on the surface. You did not kill the queen. The 4th wild remedy is bleach. Folks say, pour a gallon of chlorine bleach on the mound and the ants will die from the toxic fumes. Does it work? Same answer as the soap, plus a couple of new problems. Bleach kills the ants it directly contacts on the surface. Same as the soap. It does not penetrate deep enough to reach the queen. So, same outcome. Dead surface workers, colony intact, new mound nearby in a week. And bleach has problems the soap does not. Bleach is toxic to your lawn. It kills the grass. It kills earthworms in the soil, the helpful ones that aerate your dirt and feed your garden. It contaminates the soil for weeks. If a child or a pet walks through the wet area and licks their paws or rubs their eyes, they get a nasty chemical burn. And the fumes from a gallon of bleach on warm soil are unpleasant to breathe. So you get the same partial result as the soap, but with collateral damage to your lawn, your soil, your dog, and your nose. Skip the bleach. If you must do a surface treatment, soap and water is gentler and works just as well, which is to say, partially. Before we get to the 5th one, the dangerous one, let me pause for a moment. Every home has leaks. Food, heat, water, electricity, laundry, repairs, and waste. Inside our Amish home savings system and community, Esther and I help you find those leaks and start fixing them one by one. The link is in the description. Now the 5th remedy, and I have to be straight with you about this one because the cost of a mistake is real. The 5th wild remedy is gasoline poured on the mound and lit on fire. I want to tell you what folks say about it, and then I want to tell you why I will not recommend it and why I am going to ask you not to do it. Folks say to pour 5 gallons of gasoline into the mound and toss a match. The flames burn down into the tunnels. The gasoline saturates the soil and kills everything. The colony dies. The video the source channel made of it. Yes, the mound was empty when they came back 2 days later. It did appear to work, and it is the worst thing I can ask you to put on your own land. I will tell you straight what I have seen and what the records show. I have seen barns burn from less than 5 gallons of gasoline being mishandled in dry summer weather. Gasoline vapor travels along the ground in a thin, invisible layer that ignites in a flash. The person lighting it has burned hands and worse before they understand what happened. Children watching a parent do this have ended up in burn units. Yards have caught fire. Brush lines have caught fire. Houses have caught fire. Every summer there are real news stories of a man who tried this on his own lawn and ended up in the burn unit or in the obituary section. And there is the well. If you live in the country, you have a well. Your drinking water comes from somewhere in the soil under your feet. 5 gallons of gasoline poured into one spot of ground reaches the water table in a lot of places, especially in sandy soil. And gasoline-contaminated water makes people sick. I have heard of families who poured gasoline on a fire ant mound and then could not drink from their own well for 2 years afterward. The gasoline had reached the aquifer, and they had to drill a new well 100 feet away. The cost ran to many thousands of dollars. And there is the law. In most states, pouring gasoline on the ground is a violation of the Clean Water Act and the state environmental codes. Folks have been fined thousands of dollars by the state environmental department when a neighbor reported them or when the contamination was traced back. It is not a gray area. Petroleum products do not belong in the soil. So, would I recommend it? No. Even though the test showed it worked, I will not put it on this channel as a method to use. The cost of a single mistake, a barn fire, a child burned, a poisoned well, environmental fine is too high for a single fire ant mound. There are better ways. Let me show you. Now, I want to take a moment because here is where the video earns its keep. Because if 4 out of 5 popular remedies do not work, and the 5th one is dangerous, what does work? The real answer is the same answer we used on the wasps 2 videos back. The slow-acting bait that the workers carry home to the queen. And for fire ants, the bait is just as simple, just as cheap, and just as honest. The hero method. Boric acid plus sugar water plus small bait stations near the mound. Here is the recipe. 1 cup of warm water, 8 teaspoons of plain white sugar, that is roughly 2½ tablespoons, enough to make a sweet syrup the ants cannot resist. Half a teaspoon of pure boric acid powder. This is the 1% concentration that the entomologists say is the sweet spot. Too much boric acid and the workers die at the bait station before carrying any home, which defeats the purpose. Half a teaspoon per cup is the slow kill ratio. The workers live long enough to bring the bait back, feed the queen, and the colony dies a few days later. Stir until the sugar and boric acid are fully dissolved in the warm water. The liquid should be clear, not gritty. Gritty means the boric acid is not dissolved and the ants cannot drink solid crystals. Pour a small amount, about a tablespoon, into a small shallow container, a bottle cap, an upturned plastic lid, a piece of cardboard with the liquid soaked into a cotton ball, anything that the ants can climb onto without drowning. Place the bait a few feet from the mound, not on the mound itself, but in the path where the worker ants are foraging out from it. Several stations around the mound work better than one. Then wait. Do not disturb the bait while the workers are feeding on it. You will see a small line of ants coming and going from the bait station, drinking the syrup and carrying it back to the colony. Within 3 to 7 days, the colony is dead, the queen is dead, the eggs are dead, the mound goes quiet. And it stays quiet because the whole colony is gone, not just the surface workers. A box of boric acid powder at the hardware store or pharmacy costs about $3 and lasts you years. The same safety word as the wasp bait. Keep the boric acid powder up high, out of reach of children. Place the bait stations where small children cannot reach them and the dog cannot lick them. Treat it the same way you would treat the dish soap or the bleach under your sink. Common household chemical, common household discipline. The second real method, free and gentle. Boiling water. Heat a large kettle of water to a hard boil. 3 or 4 gallons is enough for an average mound. Wear good boots and long pants. Carry the kettle out to the mound. Pour the boiling water directly into the center of the mound slowly and steadily. What it does. The boiling water flows down into the tunnels and kills every ant it touches, including if you have enough water, and pour it deep enough into the central opening. Many of the deeper workers and sometimes the queen herself. The agricultural extension offices in the southern states have studied this method and found it kills about 60% of treated fire ant mounds. Not perfect, but a free, gentle, honest method that does not contaminate your soil, does not burn your barn down, and does not poison your well. The risk is the kettle of boiling water itself. Burns from a slipped kettle are real. Wear boots and long pants. Have a steady grip. Do not pour from a height that splashes. Some folks pair this with the boric acid bait. Pour the boiling water first to knock down the active mound and clear the surface workers. Then place the boric acid bait stations a few feet away for the survivors and any remaining queen activity. The two methods together work better than either one alone. The third real method, diatomicous earth dusted on the surface. I have spoken about diatomicous earth on this channel before. That soft, white mineral powder that kills crawling insects by drying out their bodies as they crawl across it. For a fire ant mound, food-grade diatomicous earth, dusted lightly on the surface and around the mound, will kill workers as they emerge and walk across it. It does not penetrate deep enough to reach the queen. But as a supplement to the boric acid bait, putting pressure on the surface workforce while the bait works on the colony from the inside, it strengthens the whole approach, and it is harmless to your soil, your garden, your dog, your bees, as long as you don't dust it on blooming flowers and your children if used with the same household sense. So look at what we have actually learned today. Of the 5 popular DIY remedies, 4 do not work, and the 5th is too dangerous to recommend. Coffee grounds, myth. Grits, biology says no. Soap, surface kill only. Bleach, surface kill plus collateral damage. Gasoline and fire works on the colony, but risks your barn, your well, and your family's safety. Of the real methods that careful country folks have used for decades, boric acid plus sugar water bait kills the colony from the inside by letting the workers do the work for you. Boiling water poured into the central mound knocks down the active surface and reaches some of the depths. Diatomicous earth dusted on the surface kills the workers who emerge together. The 3 of them, cheap, gentle, honest, handle a fire ant problem better than any of the 5 wild remedies. And here is the quiet truth about why this matters. There is a great deal of money in selling folks a $400 professional fire ant treatment, and there are real products on the shelf. Amro Extinguished Taurus Trio that work very well if you can afford them. They are baits using the same trophallaxis principle, with stronger commercial insecticides instead of household boric acid. Those are honest products. If you want a guaranteed one-shot treatment and you have the money, buy them. They work. But the boric acid and sugar water bait I gave you today uses the same principle for 30 cents of ingredients you already have in the pantry. The commercial product gives you guaranteed results and convenience. The homemade bait gives you the same chemistry for the price of a Sunday morning. Both kill the queen. Both end the colony. The difference is just the dollars. There is no money for the pest control industry in teaching folks the homemade bait. There is no commercial advertising the boric acid and sugar trick. So nobody runs an ad telling you the answer is in your spice cabinet. And a whole country pours coffee grounds and grits on fire ant mounds, wondering why nothing works. Now you know. So here is what I want you to do this week. If you have fire ants on your property, do not waste a single morning on coffee grounds, grits, bleach, or gasoline. Buy a small box of plain boric acid powder at the hardware store or pharmacy, $3. Stop at the grocery store for a bag of plain white sugar, $2. Boil a kettle of water tonight for the active mound nearest your house. Pour it slowly into the center of the mound and have the boric acid and sugar bait stations placed a few feet away by morning. Within a week, the colony will be gone, and the queen will be gone with it. And mind the safety boots, long pants, no children near the mound, boric acid up high, boiling water carried steady, respect the work and respect the ant. Tell me in the comments below, which of the 5 wild remedies had you been told would work? And what region of the country are you fighting fire ants in? Texas, Florida, the Gulf Coast, the Carolas, Tennessee. The folks who deal with fire ants worst have the best stories about what they have tried, and the rest of us learn the most from their telling. I read every single one. Next time, since we have spoken of how to handle the most aggressive insect on your property, I am going to show you the old way my people keep mice and rats out of the granary and the home. The simple traps, the doorway tricks, and the small habits that mean you never have a rodent problem in the first place. It is the natural next step after today. Until then, skip the gasoline, save the grits for breakfast, and trust the slow bait that the workers carry home to the queen. That is how the old folks did it. That is how it is still done. The mound goes quiet and stays quiet, and your children can run across the pasture.